Taylor Stephenson also joining us in the studio this morning. And she really is going to break down what we're feeling out there this morning. Taylor, I know when I came into work this morning overnight, it was super muggy out there. Is that still the case?
It's very much the case. Walking into work this morning, still very muggy. I will say I give the atmosphere a little bit of grace. It feels much better today just because we do have some cooler temperatures to start off the work week. But that doesn't last too long as our temperatures rise back to the low 90s tomorrow. So let's talk about what I'm tracking over the course of the next about 7 days. We're cooler and muggy, but still storms are possible later on today as we continue throughout the area. I am watching for what could be some heavier downpours here and there. We are underneath a small risk for severe weather on your Monday. Now, also, weather impact alerts are in effect for Tuesday and Wednesday, and that is because our severe weather risk does rise as we get into the next really couple days as an approaching cold front does start to push in more moisture, also more heat, and we could see the possibility of some showers and thunderstorms that develop into some very heavy downpours, but also gusty winds up to about 60 to 70 miles per hour. On top of that, we do have this unsettled pattern throughout the region finally coming to an end by the time we get into the end of the work week. Right now, here's a look at the showers and thunderstorms ongoing here, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see what's going on. And it's really just some isolated showers here and there through the south side and down into northeastern North Carolina. So near Druryville, up into Field Crossroads, Suffolk also seeing some light rainfall. Morgan's Corner, Barco, Killable Hills, heavy downpours coming through there. A couple of lightning strikes here and there. So an isolated thunderstorm this morning. As you head through the peninsula, it's fairly dry here as we really round out the rest of the day. But this is going to be the area around the south side through northeastern North Carolina where we will have the highest chance of seeing some of the stronger storms today, but again, a very low end chance for severe weather. All this is a part of this front here that you can see is really just sitting over northeastern North Carolina this morning, and that front is going to eventually lift north as a warm front, making way for a cold front that will be the trigger for the showers and thunderstorms on Tuesday and Wednesday, where they could become strong to severe. Right now, here's a look at the very muggy late morning across Hampton Roads. This is a live look from our tower camera looking into Norfolk and Portsmouth. Very gray skies. It feels like you're kind of walking through the air right now, but I will take the fact that we are only in the mid 80s and we should stay there for the rest of the day. Right now we're at 83 degrees from our Thompson Creek Window Company sky view. Dew point temperatures are in the low to mid 70s, and we do have that east wind. Now, could we have a little bit of that wildfire smoke from Canada kind of resurging and coming back to Hampton Roads today? A little bit, especially around the coast, but it's not going to be too terrible. We won't have those code red alerts. We just may have a moderate air quality for today, so a level yellow around there. As we continue through the rest of the day, you can see temperatures will rise back to the mid 80s, upper 80s. Some places may make it to the low 90s, but that's right near normal for this time of year. We'll have a little bit of a dry space between the very late morning into the earlier afternoon. Once we get into the late afternoon and evening with the heat of the day, we could see some isolated showers and thunderstorms that will eventually taper off later on tonight into early tomorrow morning. Now, here's a look at this level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather for today. That's going to be for your Tuesday, as you see every single person in Hampton Roads, northeastern North Carolina, and the peninsulas, all underneath that level 2 out of 5 risk for severe weather. You back up this camera view, and there's a huge level 3 out of 5 risk encompassing most of West Virginia, into southwestern and south central Pennsylvania, also through northern Kentucky and southern Ohio, where there could be a risk for some damaging wind gusts in those areas, even the opportunity for an isolated tornado. But for us here, we're just watching for wind gusts up to about 60 to 70 miles per hour. Now, that's also going to be the case as we get into Wednesday. So we do have weather impact alerts in effect Tuesday and Wednesday, July 21st and July 22nd. The main impacts will be damaging wind gusts, again, as I mentioned, up to about 70 miles per hour. Also, heavy rainfall that could lead to some localized flooding. And with any strong storm, just like we had yesterday, we have so much moisture that gives us an electrically charged atmosphere. And so frequent lightning also a threat for tomorrow and Wednesday. Of course, the best thing to do is stay weather aware during this time. That means downloading our 13 News Now app on your phone. That way, if any of the meteorologists, including myself, are streaming anytime over the next few days, you'll get alerts sent straight to your phone. Also, if there's any alerts in your immediate area, you can put on your location in the app and it will send out severe thunderstorm warnings or flash flood warnings if those happen to be the case. Now, I will say, as someone who worked the weekend nights this weekend, the zones for seeing that severe weather were really the peninsulas on Saturday and then yesterday, northeastern North Carolina. So south side, we've actually haven't seen a severe thunderstorm warning, but we saw a flash flood warning yesterday. So just a couple of threats that we could see over the course of the next few days. So let me go ahead and take this graphic because this one seems to be outdated. I'm going to take the other 7-day forecast. Because our weather impact alerts are Tuesday and Wednesday. There you go. So on Monday, we'll see, again, temperatures today staying in the mid to upper 80s at best. Tomorrow, low 90s. And then we get into Wednesday, upper 80s with scattered showers and thunderstorms likely from now through Wednesday. On Thursday, as our front starts to really move out of the area, North Carolina, you'll be the zone for some of those storms. And we'll see maybe some isolated showers continuing through Friday into Saturday, maybe finally clearing early next week, but it's just a very unsettled week for us. Good news is, though, if you're not a fan of like the very hot and humid weather, we will see temperatures back into the low 80s by Thursday, and we'll stay in the 80s through the weekend.
All right. Sounds good, Taylor. Definitely stay cool and stay dry this week for sure.
Yeah.
But we're going to take a quick break because when we get back, Taylor's going to go over some of the tropics as we are watching some tropic storms out in the Atlantic. We'll be right back, everyone. All right, welcome back, everyone. We want to take you down to Florida, where we're taking a live shot, or a live look, rather, the left side of your screen. This is Pensacola Beach, Florida, where we know that teams down there are monitoring a tropical depression. And Taylor, you've been also monitoring a lot of this. Kind of talk about what this is as we continue to watch this.
So this is something that was a part of just a low pressure system off a decaying front. And now you can see tropical depression number 2. That is going to be right here just south of the Florida Panhandle, where we do have active tropical storm watches in effect from anywhere through really Mobile, Alabama, through places around the Florida Panhandle. Now, tropical depression 2 right now, as of the 8 a.m. advisory, is tropical depression with sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, gusts up to 40, moving northwest at 3 miles per hour. Now, that pressure is still fairly high at around 1,006 millibars. It's about 210 miles southeast of Mobile, Alabama, and about 110 miles south of Panama City, Florida. And as you see, just kind of sitting over the open waters, it's going to move fairly slowly. And that's one thing about this. Now, I will say we get a new update and a new updated cone at 11. So definitely make sure to tune in to 13 News Now at noon, where I'll be talking about the updated track of this system. But you can see that even from just last night, when I worked late last night, the cone is definitely shifting a little bit further north, so taking that northwest movement and continuing to kind of brush up against the Gulf Coast. Could it make a direct hit into New Orleans? That is a possibility. The good news about this is that Tropical Depression 2, if it does become Tropical Storm Bertha today, should remain a tropical storm as it treks through the extreme northern Gulf and towards New Orleans, and then eventually kind of fizzle out over portions of southeastern Texas. Now, remember, I don't know if you guys remember this, but from the last hurricane season and previous hurricane seasons, when you see that huge bubble at the end of a hurricane cone, that means that this center of this system could ride about 66% of the time within that bubble. That's a huge bubble, anywhere from Dallas all the way down into really Corpus Christi, Texas. That's hundreds of miles spanning that cone. So definitely going to keep an eye out for what happens with that system. But another concern with the system, and I'll give you the actual latest details from the Hurricane Center too about the key takeaways. But with all the rainfall that has been going on in portions of Texas, this may not be the best situation as potentially tropical storm Bertha will impact portions of Texas after they've already dealt with some extreme flooding, really life-threatening flooding. So let's talk about Tropical Depression 2 and what the Hurricane Center is saying here from our key messages. The depression is gradually expected to strengthen and could bring tropical storm force conditions to portions of the Florida Panhandle and Alabama coast beginning tonight into Tuesday, where that tropical storm watch is in effect, and that's going to be in that yellow area that you see right underneath that cone. Now, interest in Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and those areas around the Gulf should monitor the progress of the system, especially as this could become a tropical storm, as additional watches also be required for places around the area over the course of the next 2 or so days. Areas of flash flooding will be possible through Friday along the Gulf Coast and adjacent island locations from western Florida through the middle Texas coast, including, again, those Gulf states, Mississippi, Alabama, and Louisiana. Especially in those flood-prone areas, like the Gulf Coast, this could be a concern. So that's what they're saying with the key messages. I do want to look up and see what they have for our, let's see if they have any peak storm surge here. And storm surge could be up to about 1 to 3 feet in places like the Mobile Bay, all the way through portions of the Alabama-Florida border, and then again south of Pensacola, south of Panama City, Florida. So still keeping an eye out for this. Not going to be the strongest storm, so that's good news for the U.S. Still, unfortunately, dealing with the potential of a tropical system. Now, regardless if this becomes a named storm, when you have a tropical system that's dumping rain over 1, flood-prone areas, but 2, areas that have already seen a lot of flash flooding over the course of the past really couple of weeks, not the most ideal situation. If this was to become a named storm, it would be Tropical Storm Bertha, only the second potentially named storm of the 2026 season, as we have been off to a very quiet start.
All right. Sounds good, Taylor. Yeah. We would definitely keep an eye on them down south and see how that all plays out for sure.
I do want to make one mention that Hampton Roads should not see any impacts from this tropical system.
There we go. That's what we like to hear. All right, Taylor, appreciate you taking the time to stop by and join us this morning.
Of course.
We're going to take a quick break here at 10:15. Everyone, we'll be right back.